Alright guys, Brad Langley here again with the Kicking Clinic, coming to you for episode 3. Like I said last time, this episode 3, is all about the kicking position. That's what we're going to go over today. Just to recap, just because I like to recap before we move on, we talked about the plant foot last time. Now the plant foot, if you remember, all the plant foot really is, it's just this temporary base of support that keeps us from falling down. Alright, the plant foot just basically holds us up just long enough for us to get through the kick and translate our body through the kick and into the follow through. Okay, if you remember, there's two components of a plant foot, your width and your depth. Your width, if you remember, has a little bit more to do with the length of your foot. People with bigger feet tend to need to be a little bit wider. People with smaller feet tend to need to be a little bit more narrow or close to the ball. And then your depth depends more on whether you're kicking off a block or kicking off the ground. So if you're kicking off a 2-inch block, you need to be a little more shallow or further back, and then as you go down to a 1-inch, you scoot up just a little bit or deeper or more forward. And then if you're kicking off the ground, you need to be even more far forward. If you need a recap on that, look back episode 2, plant foot. But like I said, today we're talking about the kicking position, all about the kicking position. And I told you last time that this was a big one. I like this, I harp on this kicking position because the kicking position is really where we're able to generate a lot of our power. It gives us the ability to optimize the power that is within our body. Everybody's a little bit different. You know, some people are just have the power within them to kick 65-yard field goals. Some of us can only kick 55-yard field goals. But the bottom line is, if you don't have a good, strong kicking position, you're going to fall short of your potential. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to draw a picture again. Forgive me, but let's talk about kind of what the kicking position is, and then we'll get into why is it important. I kind of already touched on it a little bit, and then we'll get into a little more detail. So what is a kicking position? The kicking position basically is a very athletic position. So if you've ever played any other sport, you've ever heard your coach say, hey, get in the ready position or the athletic position. What do? Bam! You get down like that, right? Kind of like you're playing defense in basketball, right? You have a little bit bend in your knees, a little bit bend in your waist, and you're kind of shoulders over your knees over your toes, right? Well, that's exactly what the kicking position is. Kicking position is, of course, we're on one leg rather than two leg, is, we're going to say it's your knees over toes, and then shoulders over knees. Okay, so knees over your toes and shoulders over your knees. I'll show you that a little bit. I got a football set up right here. We'll go into it. But anyway, so that's what the kicking position is: shoulders over, knees over your toes, and then shoulders over your knees. Okay. So before I demonstrate this thing at all, let me draw you a little bit of a picture and show you what it is, because there's a couple of components that are involved in this position. First off, we're going to look at from a lateral view or from the side, and then we'll talk about kind of what's going on in front. So from the side, this is basically what it looks like. Remember, I'm not an artist. That's our foot, remember? So that's our ankle. Ooh, goodness, that's bad. Lower leg, knee, kind of your thigh bone, that's your hip. Alright, that's your body, and that's your shoulders, okay? And then you got a little head up here. That'll be your head, smiling. Smiling because you just made the kick. Okay, so that's your foot, right? That's your lower leg, that's your knee, thigh, hips, body, shoulders. Okay, so like I said, we're knees over your toes, right? Ding, ding, ding. Knees over our toes, shoulders over our knees. Bing, bing, just like that. Okay. So you see, that's the plane that we're dealing with. Our lateral view here. We got a plane that we want to stay in line with. And basically, that's the shoulders over our knees and knees over our toes. Okay. You can kind of roughly say you butt over your heels if you wanted to, but I'm not too concerned with that. Okay, like I said, if you look, this is a very, very balanced position, right? Basically, we have 2 points that are in front. Let me erase this. So we basically have 2 points that are in front. If we had a midline, right? If we drew a midline down our body, bing, 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 right down the middle. That's the middle. We got 2 points, 1, 2 in front, and 2 points, 1, 2 in back. Okay, so it's a very balanced and very athletic position. Again, this is going to allow us to generate as much force as our bodies possibly can, and also puts us in a very good, again, balance. That's the key word here. I'm going to say it 100 more times in this video. A very balanced position, which makes it very easy to go forward through the kick and into the follow through. We'll get a little bit more into that later. Okay? So that's the side view. Now the front view, this is going to be even worse of a drawing. Okay? So let's see. We'll call that a leg right there. Alright, so that's our kicking leg. It's a bent leg, okay? So that's why it's only short. It's not like your peg leg. Alright? Plant leg, your hips, got your spine, got your shoulders. Ooh, those shoulders get big. Neck. And there's your big head again, very happy, right? So that's our kicking leg, right? Boom. Kicking, okay? So plant leg, hips, spine, shoulders, and then your head, okay? So if you look here, this is a kicking leg, that's why it's bent, okay? So if you look here, there's 3 planes that need to stay parallel to each other, okay? Parallel means they do not cross, okay? So those that haven't had geometry yet, that's a parallel line, right? They don't cross, okay? We don't want these planes to cross. So there's 3 planes. One here at the knees, bing, 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 like that. One here at the hips, right there. And then one here at the shoulders, okay? So you see there's 3 planes here. The idea is that those 3 planes stay parallel to each other. They don't cross. So basically what I'm saying is in your kick, you don't need to be all jacked up like this, okay? As you see, if I had a plane here, that's not in line with my hips. I hope you can see my hips and everything. So my shoulder plane coming down, my hips coming straight across, they're going to cross. We don't want that. We want to stay nice and parallel, just like this. Again, balanced position, all right? This is an unbalanced position. So you feel yourself getting in this position, you know you got a problem, okay? Balanced position. Why do we want a balanced position? It allows us to generate the maximum amount of power that our bodies can generate, okay? It's very important. 2 balanced, the 2 components to maintaining this balance, this real balanced position, okay? Let's see, okay. I think that's all for the bad drawings. Now, I have a football set up right here, and let's look at this, what it actually looks like on a body. Alright, so you see my football here. So we'll start with the side view. So the side view, again, I told you, knees over my toes, so I just planted, right? Remember our plant foot, right? The length of our foot width, depth, I'm kicking off the ground, right? I'm just reviewing here. Okay, so my plant foot, I'm right here. Now if you notice, if I'm back here like this is not a very balanced position. What's going to happen? If my weight is back here like this, I'm going to fall backwards. It's not going to be very good. A balanced position, I drive that knee forward over my toe, right? And then my shoulders over my knee. So boom, I'm like this. Of course, your arm goes up for counterbalance, right? So that's kind of what it looks like from the side. And I come in here and I strike the ball like that, okay? We flip it around. I don't know if this is going. Ooh, stay up there. For what it's worth, we flip it around. Same thing, right here, knees over my toes, shoulders over my knees. I'm over the ball like this and I'm kicking, right? Boom. Got it? Alright, now, for the front view. Remember, the component of the front view here is that we have planes at our knees, straight across at our knees, at our hips, and at our shoulders. We don't want them to cross, right? Maintain parallel. the number one place that I see people get in trouble with their planes crossing is here in the hip. They'll plant, everything looks good, but then the hip wants to kick out real hard like that. If that hip kicks out, my shoulders have no choice but to drive down, okay? It's just the nature of the beast there, okay? So, good, strong kicking position, good tight muscle right there. Drive that hip in, okay, so that we're up nice and tall. Boom, my hip stays in, knees are over my toes, shoulders are over my knees, and then I'm like this. Of course, I'd have body lean. I can't do it because I don't have anything to hold on to. But I have body lean, but everything leans together, so we still maintain parallel. Parallel shoulders, parallel hips, parallel knees. So I'm just like that, okay? So boom, kind of like that with a little bit of a body lean. All right? Head up, looking down at, shoulders up, looking down at my ball, okay? Just like that. If that hip pokes out, we're going to get in trouble. Drive that hip in, okay? Just like that. I don't know if y'all need to see it from the backside. I'm going to let you do it anyway. Alright, plant foot, knees over my toes, shoulders over my knees right here. A little bit of a body lean. Just like that, I'm striking the ball. Bam, right? Good balanced position. Okay? That's pretty much it. Alright, bear with me, guys. Alright, so that's pretty much it when it comes to the kicking position. Alright, what's the kicking position all about? It's all about optimizing, right? Optimizing power. How do we optimize our power? We stay in a balance, stay balanced, right? Stay balanced. That's what the kicking position is all about. It's a nice balanced position so that we can optimize the power that we have within our body, okay? Now remember, from a side view, this lateral view, it is my knees are over my toes, my shoulders are over my knees. All right? That's a good balanced position. It allows me to go forward. From the side, I'm worried about my three planes, shoulders, hips, and knees, right? Don't want those planes to cross. Parallel, so shoulders are nice and level, hips are nice and level, that left hip, or if you're a right-footed kicker, and right hip if you're a left-footed kicker, all right? That hip is staying in, nice and tight, all right? And the knees, same thing, nice and parallel with your hips and shoulders, okay? Again, that allows us to generate the most power and allows us to move forward through the ball, okay? Over that plant foot, which, again, just to throw it in there, is just a temporary base of support that allows our body to move forward, okay? So I think that's about it. I hope I didn't forget anything. If I did, I'll think of it later and talk about it next time, I guess. But hit me up. Let me know if you got questions, any comments about this. I'm always happy to answer questions. I hope this is a help. Okay. Catch you guys next time. We're getting a little bit closer to actually kicking a ball. I know some of y'all are like, when are we ever going to kick a ball? Okay. We got to know everything before we can kick it. So foot to ball contact. That's another important one. Obviously, they're all important to me, but foot to ball contact next time, and see y'all.